Guys, welcome to another episode, and we're gonna talk about a very important topic. It's still gonna be virtual currency, but I've heard from a lot of people that they have a lot of misconceptions. For an example, Bitcoin is illegal, right? There are a lot of myths going around. A virtual currency is illegal, and it's a pyramid scheme, a Ponzi scheme for whatnot. And you have to have a lot of money to invest in virtual currency, which is an absolute myth, a ridiculous thought going around amongst people for no reason. I mean, there are underlying reasons for people to think like that. I was one of them. But when I started learning about it, I was like, oh my God, all this time, what the heck I was doing, right? It's all misconceptions, myths that, people spread rumors for no reason, and we tend to believe that because we don't have the deeper understanding about these things. Venkat, this episode, like I mentioned, this is probably we should tag it like title it like virtual currency for dummies. A couple of years ago I was also the same, and should be helpful for everyone who's starting off Bitcoin, and hopefully the myths and misconceptions should go away, should disappear right after watching this episode. My first question, let's go right into it, Venkat. Is it illegal? And if it's legal, why do we say so?
So yeah, the problem is it's not illegal in the entire. There are like 7,000, 8,000 cryptocurrency out there, right? So what's happening is some of those are like people are creating scamming coins, like they just create something out of it, and it's not in the system basically, but they just create it and then they disappear. Like they just create it and they probably hype it up in the Twitter and all those things. A lot of people put money on it, they kind of disappear. Right, that I'm talking about something that is low, probably
Low
6,000
ranked
rank.
currency, yeah.
6,000 rank, right? So it just uh because of those one or two things, one or two coins, that it comes out to be in the media, like the media writes about this,
Right.
because of this coin, like they got $100 million, and then they disappear, nowhere to be found. The founder, nowhere to be found. There are a few projects like that. uh those are kind of, not many exchanges list those, right? So they are in kind of not in exchanges, not in well-known exchanges. So that's why, like, you need to go, like, there are like a dollars, US dollars out there. There are fake US dollars out there, right?
Right.
So if you go to a bank, you're not going to get a fake US dollar, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. But if you go to somewhere drug dealer, right, you may get fake US dollar.
Yep.
So that's exactly that. Like this cryptocurrency, if you go to a right exchange like Coinbase, Binance, those are like a famous regulatory, like, they go through a lot of regulatory, applications and all those things. And then they add those coins. Those, like, Coinbase doesn't have 7,000 coins, right? Coinbase got like 50 coins.
Mm.
So that's why you have to rely on those major ones. Those coins are legal, like legal,
Yep.
legitimate. It is running on the blockchain. Every coin is like a technological solution, right? Each one is like, Bitcoin is a solution, Ethereum is a solution. Everything is a solution for some problem.
Right. So just to recap everything what you said, Venkat, you mentioned about very important points. One is basically you're saying anywhere you go you have bad apples.
Right.
So just because of one or two bad apples doesn't mean the entire system is corrupt. So you mentioned about 6,000, closer to 6,000, around 6,000 virtual currencies in the market, and one or two they just put it out there and then they collect money from people, investors, and then disappear. That happens like that. Those are a couple of, like, one or two bad apples. So just because that doesn't mean virtual currency is illegal, because what happens is when that happens, media hype is crazy, mainstream media, whatnot. They talk a lot about these things, giving the people the impression that the whole system is corrupt. So that's one thing.
You know
And
what? Bitcoin, I just want to add one point there.
yeah,
Bitcoin, I think more than 100 times the media told Bitcoin is a fake currency. Last 10 years, think about it. Now it's like it's going 70, $80,000.
dollars, right?
Right.
Exactly. And when you're investing, when you're new invest in virtual currency, you said about there are 6,000 coins, right? We have enough episodes for you to make a very informed decision as to what virtual currency you should invest on. Probably if I were to tell you right out of the bat, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, Cardano, and Chainlink, and we can give you enough, because I know Venkat has so many currencies that he's invested on, but you have to do your own research to figure out which currency that you should invest on. But right out of the bat, you can always think about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, Cardano, Chainlink. And you
If you
mentioned
just
about,
invest, just wanted to add one thing. If
yeah,
you don't know anything about it, just invest on those 5 coins.
yes,
That's all you need, guys. You don't need to
yes,
worry about anything else.
worry about anything. That's exactly right. And you mentioned about exchanges. So just because this episode is for beginners, exchanges are platforms. Let's say you wanted to buy a stock, like Coca-Cola stock, right? There's a separate, like through Ameritrade or whatever the platform, like just like that, there's a platform that facilitates, there are platforms that facilitate the stock purchase, right? Just like that, if you want to purchase Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum, and whatever the virtual currencies that you want to purchase, there has to have a platform for you to purchase. So when Venkat mentioned exchanges mean those platforms. So you actually gave a couple of one famous one, Coinbase, fantastic, just easy, just create a login and then go for it, because when you transfer money from your bank account to the Coinbase, there's no charge, no charge at all. And the other famous one that I like to have is Voyager, because the ACH transaction, just like Coinbase. Kraken is another one I like, but the only drawback in Kraken platform is when you wire, whether you wire $1,000 or $100, they charge $30 per wire. So just so you know, you want to invest in virtual currencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, whatnot, you have to create logins. You have to create an account with platforms. Like if you don't want to deal with several platforms, go for Coinbase. If Coinbase is giving you trouble with the ID identification and all that, let's go for Voyager. But Voyager, you have to wait for about a couple of weeks until you get approved. But either way, you're going to be approved. It's very easy, guys. So a couple of things I want to refresh right after you mentioned, Venkat, because this episode is specifically focused on the beginners. And also, one of the other things that I learned, Venkat, is people think this as illegal because people use virtual currencies for all the bad things. Like if you heard about the dark web, that's a whole different story, a whole different episode. But people use virtual currencies for drug dealing, prostitution, murder, like hire hitmen. So because of that, people get the idea, oh, all the virtual currencies are used for all the bad things under the sun. No, people use virtual currencies. Some people use virtual currencies for all the bad reasons, all the bad purposes, because of pseudo anonymity, I would say, because it's not like full anonymity. There is a way to find the ultimate owner of the virtual currency, but that process takes longer. But because the virtual currency is used for bad reasons, bad things, people tend to believe that it's illegal.
I want to add one thing. Like people use US dollar also for bad thing.
Yeah.
So
that's
nobody
right.
talks about US dollars.
US dollars, right? Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
They just like kind of they pay somebody over here, and then they do the work in like maybe in another country, right? And they just kind of do the work in there, and they pay somebody over here through US dollar, and
just like that.
Yeah.
It's the same deal. Venkat, I know that we are hitting our timeline here. Any last thoughts you want to add? Maybe we can talk a little more than what we did just discussed on another episode. But any last thoughts?
Just one thing I want to add, like when you're buying, you don't need to buy the entire cryptos, entire coin. Like if you want to buy, you think $70,000 Bitcoin, like you don't need to have $70,000, guys. You can buy $10 Bitcoin. Just go to Voyager. Once you get that brokerage, it's like a stock brokerage, the exchanges. Once you get into exchanges, we're gonna have a link down below in the description. You can just use that link to for you to make it easier. Just sign up and then put $100, something like that, and then just start investing on it. You can put only $100 on the Bitcoin, um, buy only like 0.000 some Bitcoin,
Yeah.
right? You don't need to buy the entire Bitcoin.
Yes, and the potential is, I mean, whether you invest $100 or $1,000, the way that things are going, imagine after 3 or 4 years, and when Bitcoin right now it's 63,000, but imagine when it hits 100 grand or five or half a million, your $100 worth after
Right.
5 years. So think about it. Good point, Venkat, because I almost forgot that point today, because like I said, some of us think that you have to have a lot of money to buy Bitcoin. No, you can buy just like regular stocks. You can buy fraction of a stock through Webull or M1 Finance or whatnot. Just like that, you can do the same thing. You can buy fraction of a virtual currency through these platforms. And Venkat, I think we can
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
more on our next episode. So until next time, it's goodbye from us.
Bye, guys.